Hello, I am Zelp and welcome back to another video. Today, despite the poor Seren Warframe gameplay at the background, we are not actually going to be playing Warframe, nor are we talking about Warframe. Instead, I would like to share as much as I could about COVID-19, the coronavirus that everyone is and should be alerted by. We'll be talking roughly about what it is, how it spreads, what are the preventive measures, what should you do when you get it, and along the way I will be as detailed as possible with all the reasonings to help all of us reach some kind of agreement. I haven't done a scripted video for a really long time, so hopefully this is going to be way more interesting and compact than my usual gaming videos. Let's start. First of all, COVID-19 is a type of coronavirus, similar to SARS and MERS. They can be found in droplets of water coming out of an infected individual, mainly due to coughing or sneezing. Surfaces that are contaminated can house the virus for hours to, I believe, one of the latest findings, which is 3 days depending on the surface type. Plastic and stainless steel seems to be one of the longest. The known reports of how COVID-19 is spreading is by directly inhaling the virus while it is in the air, or from touching contaminated surfaces and then touching parts of your face like the mouth, eyes, and nose. Currently, there are no known cure for COVID-19 as of now, the midst of March 2020, despite what you might have heard or read on some articles, but there are drugs and vaccines that are still being tested as we speak. However, it is important to note that besides the virus having similar structure with other coronaviruses, there are still a lot that we don't know about COVID-19 because it's incredibly new to us. The few general ways of destroying COVID-19 virus outside the human body is with soap. Soap has the tendency to stick to lipids, which are fats or oily things, as well as water. And because the membrane of the COVID-19 virus is made out of lipids, this would not only pull the virus away from our hands or surfaces that we flush down with water, but could also stretch and tear the virus apart, destroying it. It is recommended that you wash your hands with soap for at least 20 seconds at a time for it to be more effective. Another popular alternative is by using things like alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Alcohol can dissolve the lipid membrane of the COVID-19 virus, killing it as well. Try to make sure that the product that you're using has at least 70% alcohol in them. However, making sure that you cover your hands with enough alcohol for a good amount of time can be quite challenging as it evaporates really quickly. The word pandemic, which you might have heard many times, is used when a dangerous disease is spreading fast globally to the point where it could potentially cause a lot of death and disruption. Last I checked, early March 2020, there are about 100,000 known cases and about 3,000 deaths, making the fatality rate of COVID-19 around 3%. Based on these numbers. But because there are probably a lot more cases that were not reported, experts believe that the fatality rate is actually below 2%. COVID-19 is spreading at an exponential rate, and this is very scary. Just an example, if one person were to infect 2 others in one day before getting quarantined, and those 2 were to infect another 2 the next day, by the end of 2 weeks, more than 16,000 individuals is going to be infected. Because of how fast and effective it is spreading, experts also believe that it is very likely to reach about 25 to 75% of the human population. If 50% of the Earth's 8 billion population is affected and the fatality rate is just 2%, we are still looking at about 8 million possible deaths. One of the main symptoms of COVID-19 besides fever is having difficulty breathing. It would seem to have a much heavier toll on people who are older, which means children and teenagers are less likely to die from this. Currently, one of the things that hospitals could do for their patient that has a bad case of COVID-19 is to provide them with breathing apparatus to help them with their breathing. Now, to some, you might not see the severity of the situation, and there might also be others that are maybe panicking or overreacting and fighting over toilet papers, to which I want to say that although we should all be taking this seriously, you are very unlikely to be dying from COVID-19. What we should and must do is to slow down the spread, even if eventually everyone is going to be affected. By slowing down the spread of COVID-19, we can save lives by not overcrowding the hospitals and depleting the medical supplies too suddenly and too quickly for those that really need it. This is what people meant by flattening the curve. Basically, try not to get infected all at once. In fact, since there are no cure yet for the virus, there are places in UK that recommend just resting at home and practice self-isolation if you think you have COVID-19. If you are a Malaysian like me, I heard that a test for COVID-19 costs about 750 ringgit, which is about 180 USD. Malaysia is also currently under partial lockdown, where schools, restaurants, and many other non-essential shops are closed, and we are not allowed to travel long distances without special permits. Any form of large gatherings are also not allowed, such as weddings and funerals, etc. So guys, stock up on some food things like oats, instant noodles, and canned goodies, practice social distancing, pay attention to the news, and stay clean. I know this is not one of our usual talks, but if this video helps to create even a slight awareness to someone ignorant that could potentially hurt others, then I guess it's worth me talking about it. I feel like in some ways we are all responsible to spread the word, and this is me doing my part. That's all for this video. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.